Hello, I'm Gurbani, and in this short video I'm going to explain everything about time machines and their unexplored horizons. By the end of this short video, you'll be able to understand how time machines work and how they travel through time. We'll talk about time travel in literature, in sci-fi movies, and also in video games. We'll also talk about how it's scientifically proven that time travel doesn't actually exist.
Time travel is a recurrent interest throughout the ages. It is a topic that engages young and elder alike. To time travel, you need some kind of power to get that ability. In most instances, you need a gadget in order to travel through time. These gadgets are called time machines, but their names vary from author to author. Time traveling is actually possible thanks to a phenomenon named time dilation, which I'll explain afterwards.
Let's start with time travel in literature.
We're going to talk about two books, The Time Machine by H.G. Wells and Harry Potter. Let's start with H.G. Wells, which is written in 1895, known as the father of science fiction. Wells is called the father of science fiction because of his novels, The Time Machine and War of Worlds. Time traveling to correct a mistake or traveling to the future to predict and know how to react. Then it moves on to another storyline, completely different storyline. The time machine, as he explains it, it's a fourth dimension, and newer films like Interstellar have copied this idea. The second book we're going to talk about is Harry Potter, specifically the third book, The Prisoner of Azkaban. This kind of time traveling is instant, which means in the moment you turn the time turner, you instantly travel back in time. It resembles an hourglass on a necklace, where each turn is equivalent to an hour. This is a different kind of time manipulation. The actual storyline doesn't actually change. The only problem is if you see yourself while traveling back in time. Harry Potter's time traveling is more self-consistent, which means there are no parallel dimensions or universes, and everything is in the same timeline.
Let's move on to time travel in sci-fi movies.
We're going to talk about Back to the Future and Primer. So let's start with Back to the Future. Marty interferes with how his parents fell in love, which creates a completely new timeline. And in this new timeline, he is much cooler, and now his original bully now works for his family. He even disappears from Holt while time traveling, but even after trying to change it back, nothing is the same as before traveling through time. The second movie that has to do with time travel is Primer. This is a movie on where time traveling actually takes time. They time travel inside time travel. They interact with other time travel versions of yourself with free will, and the time machine can only take you to a time where it was created, which means you cannot travel to a time where that machine didn't exist. This movie is much more logical than Back to the Future.
Finally, let's move on now to time travel in video games.
In video games, reviving is also a kind of time travel, where you replace all of your actions but with more knowledge. Reviving usually happens when you do a mistake, like for example die or get stuck. In other games, you can also go back and your past version of yourself stays doing what you did before with no free will, in normally a grayer color. But you can add and change things to complete the level, which means with your other past selves, you can complete a level which in the present you couldn't. Or you could also go back with more knowledge or keys to complete the level. One example of a video game that uses time traveling is Braid, as you can see in this example. In this example, the monster cannot be time traveled, but the character can. So the character kills itself so that the monster can jump over him and he can continue the level. However, there are some scientifically proven developments, which are the theory of relativity from Einstein, wormholes, the speed of light, and especially time dilation. Time dilation means that the farther you move through space in the space-time fabric, the slower you move through time. As you may have already heard, when traveling in a rocket close to the speed of light, your time goes lower in comparison to other people, thanks to time dilation.
I hope you've understood everything we've talked about and all the concepts we've covered through this video. Have a great day.